Months after Jake's disappearance, rumors about the silent page began to spread across obscure forums and underground tech communities. It was whispered that anyone who accessed the site either vanished or was left broken, muttering incoherently about shadows and whispers. This mystery caught the attention of Damien, a seasoned hacker who thrived on cracking unsolvable puzzles and exposing myths. Unlike others who had stumbled upon the site, Damien came prepared. With a hardened laptop, multiple layers of encryption, and years of experience navigating the dark web, he was confident he could uncover the truth behind the silent page. One night, armed with his custom-built setup, Damien decided to investigate. He found the site easily enough. A stark black screen with the ominous red button labeled Enter. "Let's see what you've got," Damien muttered, smirking as he clicked the button. The screen changed to a live feed of the familiar dimly lit room. Damien's trained eyes immediately scanned the video for details. He noticed subtle distortions in the feed, as if the video was looping, but with barely perceptible differences. The chat box appeared. "Welcome, Damien." He froze for a moment. Unlike the others, Damien had hidden his identity behind layers of proxies and firewalls. There was no way the site should know his name. "Impressive setup," the next message read. Damien's smirk faded. This wasn't just a creepy website, it was intelligent. He quickly began to probe the site's backend, running scripts to find vulnerabilities. The code was unlike anything he'd seen before. It wasn't just encrypted, it was dynamic, shifting and adapting to his every move. Then the chat box blinked again. "Do you think you're in control?" Suddenly, Damien's screen was flooded with cascading lines of code. His commands were overwritten before he could execute them. Frustration turned to alarm as his mouse and keyboard froze. The live feed shifted. The previously empty room now showed a figure seated in the chair. Damien's heart skipped a beat. It was Jake. His face was pale, his eyes hollow, but he was moving, unlike in the rumors. Jake slowly turned his head to the camera and whispered something Damien couldn't hear. The chat box updated. "He's waiting for you." Damien's apartment lights flickered and his screens began to glitch. Then a secondary monitor lit up, displaying a live feed of Damien's room. Behind him, a faint shadow moved. He spun around, but nothing was there. His breathing quickened as he turned back to his computer. The shadow in the live feed grew larger, forming a humanoid shape. "You're not leaving," the chat box declared. Damien acted quickly, pulling the plug on his system. The screens went dark and the room fell silent. He leaned back, heart pounding, and tried to convince himself it was just an elaborate prank. But then his phone buzzed. A new message appeared. "You can't escape the silent page." The hacker's plan. Over the next few days, Damien prepared to fight back. If this site was a trap, it had a source, and he was determined to find it. Using a secure backup system, he created a program designed to trace the origins of the silent page. This time, Damien entered the site with caution. He immediately began running his tracing program, bypassing the chat box and live feed. To his surprise, the program worked. He traced the site's origin to multiple servers worldwide, but they all pointed back to one location, a long-abandoned server farm on the outskirts of a small, desolate town. Intrigued and desperate for answers, Damien decided to investigate in person. He packed his gear and made the trip to the server farm. A dark discovery. The server farm was in ruins, windows shattered, walls covered in graffiti. Inside, Damien found rows of old servers humming faintly, despite the apparent lack of maintenance. As he explored, he noticed strange symbols etched into the walls and floors, almost like ancient runes. His flashlight flickered, and he heard faint whispers. Ignoring the growing unease, Damien found the main terminal. He plugged in his laptop and began accessing the servers. To his shock, the files contained fragmented video clips of people staring at their screens, terror etched on their faces. Some were screaming, others crying, and a few sat motionless, their eyes lifeless. In the final folder, Damien found a video labeled, "Welcome." He hesitated, but clicked it. The screen filled with static before displaying a room, the same room from the live feed. A voice, deep and distorted, filled the air. "You've come far, Damien, but you're still just another pawn." The screen went black and Damien's flashlight died. He was plunged into darkness as the whispers grew louder surrounding him. Shadows began to move and the terminal emitted a faint, eerie glow. "It's too late to turn back now," the voice whispered. "To be continued." Damien's fate remains uncertain, but his investigation has opened a door that cannot be closed. The Silent Page is more than just a website. It's a gateway to something ancient and malevolent, feeding on curiosity and fear. Will Damien survive to uncover the truth, or will he become another victim? And who will be brave or foolish enough to face the Silent Page next?